Good morning, everyone. We take immense pleasure to welcome all the participants and everyone here for the final day of the ATAL Faculty Development Program on Future Trends in Green Energy Technologies for Sustainable Development. We now start with our first session of the day 5. The session is chaired by Engineer Prince Manova, Quality Environmental Health and Safety Specialist, MBCC Group, United Arab Emirates. Mr. Prince Manova has completed his bachelor's in Energy and Environmental Engineering from Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore. He has completed his master's in Health, Safety and Environment with specialization in Disaster Management from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun. He has hands-on experience in implementing HSE management system, training, inspection. For this session, sir is here to boost our brains about environmental health and safety. Now, I invite Mr. Prince to take over the session. We welcome you, sir.
Hi, good morning, everybody. And once again, thank you for the good note of introduction, because it's the first time I'm getting an introduction for me on a speaking note. So to be honest, I would like to start off with thanking our professors who have really taken a good initiative on developing the faculties and also in involving the students in that, because this is really an important aspect which I have been feeling when I started my journey as a complete professional, when I started going to the companies. So first, not to take much of your valuable time, and I will just give a brief introduction about myself and myself, Prince Manova, and already the host has given a bit of introduction what I've been doing. So after completing my engineering bachelor's from TNAU, I did my master's in health and safety. After that, I ended up myself starting a career as an internships with various different industries like manufacturing industries, initially with Schneider Electric in Chennai. And then post, I was with solar construction industries, all into health and safety professional. Later on, I ended up a full-time job in Ennore Port Terminals. For 2 months, I was there working. And then I immediately got a chance to be a consultant role and delivering NEBOSH, one of the premium certificate course for health and safety. And after that, I was in Chennai, and that company really supported me a lot. And they said, Prince, we want you to be a part of this company in UAE. Then I said, okay, I'm going to be a part of you, sir, because it's a nice opportunity for me to get an international experience and also share a lot of knowledge from different experts. Then I landed in Dubai. For almost 2 years, I was working there. Then I ended up in a shipping construction industry. Then after that, I was also developing, training people on various aspects on health and safety and environment, how to take care of themselves and how to progress and implement health and safety management systems. Later on now, as Awas was saying, I'm currently working with an MBCC group, which is dealing with construction chemicals as a QEHS specialist. Now, moving forward with our EHS introduction. As I'm gonna talk, I'm just gonna be brief about what are the contents I'm gonna be talking, because this is a very different subject, because as an environmental engineer, how it is being incorporated in this EHS. So these are the things which I'm going to be discussing in this particular program of this 1.5 hours or 1 hour session and 30 for Q&A answers. So basically, I'm going to be covering the facts and what exactly EHS is all about and why it is really required in our companies. And it's not just companies. It's going to be a system for each and every, even to the colleges. I'm going to give all the example related to the college examples, and then how to do the management system. Because though we have studied about our environmental subjects, it comes to a management system which very effectively you have to manage. And having that management system, we need to know a bit of what are the incidents it's going to be really be focusing upon, and what are the tools to ensure that we are in place and controlling everything is under our hands. And last but not the least, which always goes with an audit, where we hear this words very often, even in the colleges, talking about the laboratories and every other stuff. Okay, so before that, facts. Every presentation starts with this facts, because that is the easiest way to talk about the numbers, I believe. ILO, anybody is aware of ILO here? Because this first screen itself talks about ILO. I'm going to start picking up names, because else it's going to be difficult for me to. Or else anybody is aware, I'm not going to pick and make them a little embarrassed immediately on the very first of the beginning of the session. But still, anybody wants to volunteer on what is ILO? Have you heard of that? It can be anybody.
So kindly unmute yourself and you can interact with the speaker, please.
Yeah, please. You can do yes. Please that. Even you can Google it, no problem, because this is Google era. Okay. So ILO is nothing but an international labor organization, and which actually governs like we have a World Health Organization. This is a kind of a labor organization, gives certain regulations, gives certain rights and human rights and certain rules and regulations to be followed in the company and organization. It actually estimates there are about 2.3 million women and men around the world succumb to work-related accidents and diseases every year. So immediately when this word comes work related, we all think that it's just company related. No, as I was telling, it can be related to colleges as well, because the college is one of the most vulnerable areas where a lot of efforts are being taken up. The risk, ill health risk are highly in the colleges. So that is why I thought of taking a little bit of facts about that and then deal with how are we going to control and mitigate that. And also, if you see that the related accidents, it corresponds 6,000 deaths in a day. That's really, really alarming. Though, like always, we say the population is increasing, but on the other side of the effect, you can see there are a lot of deaths are happening. And maybe because of work-related accidents, as I was telling, it could be physical activities more on that. And also, in worldwide, there are 340 million occupational accidents. Occupational, even teaching is an occupation. Even student is a kind of an occupation. Even because the life is so interesting on that aspect. And also you can see 160 million victims of work-related illness annually, wherein accidents lead to some complete damage, wherein illness is on your body, which is going to be prolonging to you on a longer basis. And the interesting fact of all of those first four facts, you can see the last one. See here, American Psychological Association says that millennials rank safety as an issue on workplace stress. I believe you were having a session on stress, right, in this week. So can anybody just talk about what you learned from that and why you believe that session was very important to you? Anybody can answer. Who were a participant, even can host, or anybody is going to be a participant here if you were a part of that session. Millennials is basically the persons who were born after 1981 or 85, I believe. The persons born after that. A change in eras of the different generations. Can anybody? Because I mean, like Professor Search, you were asking us to interact during a session. I just expect the same from you too, so that I can be having a bit of. I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Stress management is very important to lead a happy life.
Okay, happy life. So, what does happiness means to you, sir? I mean, like just kind of an interaction with you.
It depends on our soul. Soul only decides the happiness.
Yeah, and again, it depends with each and every individual happiness. Like for an example, I love playing. That gives me a lot of happiness, and talking to people is all of happiness. And yes, this stress is one of the biggest factor, and it has gained a lot of attention during this COVID. How many of you were under a lot of stress during this COVID time? Can you be little bit frank enough to say that? Because we are a dilemma, we are a kind of an uncertainty, insecurity, saying that, okay, am I going to be still having my job, or I'm going to lose my job? What I'm going to do to pay my bills? This was a lot of questions came into a lot of people's mind, even with the persons who were working in the companies. There were a lot of uncertainty. So how this really affected you? Anybody? I'm not going to pass on unless and until I'm going to be getting some kind of an answer from anybody.
So they are interacting in the chat box too.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad then. Chat. Everyone were under psychological stress. Yes, true. And it's very, very, very difficult to come out of that. And it just needs a lot of willpower. And this is where our role as an EHS professional comes into place to some of manage the stress of the people in the workplace as well as individual, because as an EHS professional, it's a very challenging subject and it's a very interesting thing. Okay, what is EHS now? We were talking about the stories, we were talking about the facts. Now, actually, we need to know what is EHS. Before me going into that EHS, maybe if you would have seen the program skill, you might have had a thought of Googling it, what is EHS? Had anybody just had a vetting towards EHS program, or you're hearing this for the very first time? Have anybody heard of this EHS topic before? Or is the first time you are hearing it? Again, I'm sorry, I think I need to check the chat. Channel anger or towards our advantage is the best solution to manage stress. Yes, could be. No. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Raja. Anybody else? First time? Oh, that's really nice. It's good that, because again, it's a very vast subject. I'll try my best to sum of cover how to manage it in a little 1 hour given to me. I believe I have time. Yeah, 20 minutes gone already. Have a little idea on that. That's great. Really nice. So basically, EHS, it's a small acronym. It talks about environmental, health, and safety. So most of you, we were talking about environmental subjects in this. Yes. As an EHS professional, the role I've got is to manage this. So in order to become an EHS professional, you should be a multidisciplinary guy who knows about environmental subjects. You should be a doctor, I would say. You should be an environmentalist, like all of us who are already an environmentalist. Safety begins with everybody, because safety is a subject which is not something to be learned. It is a part of our life. So to talk about this environmental. So when, as an environmentalist, we always talk about this, like, oh, there's a lot of pollution out there. There is a lot of SOx noise being released into the atmosphere. It is creating a lot of stress to the human. And moreover, we were always talking about sustainability. And that really plays a role in this HSE, because if HSE is not handled properly, it's going to be having a lot of problems in sustainability, because we can talk about sustainability, but if something is not laid as a foundation, it's going to be difficult for all of us in the future, not only for us, even for our kids who are really going to be facing this wonderful world in the future. So environmental, as I told, its surroundings, and we talk about gas release and spillages. So what is my role there? If there is a release of gas, it's going to be affecting all the people around. It's going to be affecting the air pollution, and it's just disaster. And actually, I've got one slide to talk about one of the most industrial disaster about the gas leak and many things. Health, we always think about the physical health, what we see, and already we talked about that stress factor, which is our mental health. So again, this is another area where our EHS professional talks about. As I told, we need to be a doctor. So my role is to ensure that the person who's working in a company or an organization should not be going to doctor. And it's very difficult, because the behavior of the people changes a lot. And last come to the thing is safety is could say it's an absence of risk. Then me talking about, and a lot of things are there in that definition. Can anybody describe by your own self what is safety to you? Because there is no one defined meaning in this world, actually, because everybody has their own way of thinking it, and it's a different perception on that. So can anybody just say, what do you think safety is? Because we talk about safety on a day-to-day life. You can actually please unmute. Sometimes really that's much better. We can speak out, ease ourselves. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna pick somebody. Yeah. Hi, ma'am or sir. Gopika, are you there online? I'm sorry to put you in trouble, but still, just to ensure that everybody's engaged. If not, I'm gonna go for Mr. Rishabh Mahur, if you're there. Hello, hello, hello.
We request the participants to interact with the speaker, please.
It's okay. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They're good. Thanks, host. Okay, it's okay because maybe some technical glitch could be there out there because we are all working in this new techie world. So as I was talking, safety is kind of an absence of risk. Okay, a simple example I would ask is a common thing what we do in our day-to-day life. We take a bath in the morning, and the moment we try to step out, what you do immediately is put on your slippers. Why? A simple example I would say, what is safety like? We all get ready, we want to go meet people in the morning to have different meetings, and the moment we step out, we immediately have a slippers on. Why? You can chat also.
To avoid sleeplessness.
Right, that's it. That's a very simple answer. That is what we would like to actually instill the concept of safety into the people working in different occupations and different fields. Safety is a part of your life. Safety is not something, a new subject which has come to an existence. Only thing that we don't realize that we have been doing that on a day-to-day life. As I was giving an example, slipper, as you said, you told the term which we use as a health and safety professional. That's what I was telling in the beginning. EHS is a common subject which we deal in our day-to-day life, and it just needs a small attention to ensure a great and a sustainable life what we are going to be leading in the future. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes. So moving to the slides forward. Now always this question comes. Okay, man, what is this subject, man? Why is I'm really sorry, sir. I've been there comes a question always. Why this really needs, man? Why? There are three simple reasons in a company, or you can say anything, is moral values. I believe there was one personal who was interacting in the beginning. Soul. Everybody is having a purpose in life. It's just to help each other, and just like you can see the different wordings written out there. Respect. If you don't give respect to each other, you're not going to get the respected. We get sometimes angry on each other. These guys are not respecting, but it's always like a third law of Newton. Every action has a opposite reaction. I believe that's the law, man. Like I just don't remember the real wordings. So it's clear that if you're not giving respect, it's not going to be coming back to you. And loyalty, all this really matters a lot to a person, even when he's working in a company, even when he's at home, even when he's at college. And this is where people get distracted, and that is where our EHS role plays a major role. It's kind of you would be playing a lot of roles in that, like a leader, like a politician, and many things you can say. And one of the reasons I was talking is moral reasons. So give value to the human being. Sometimes if something happens to you, let's say for an example, in our college also, if some professor is getting hurt and the management, okay, man, you go to the hospital, take care of yourself. If professor says, if some management says to you like that, how do you feel? Oh, you're fine, man, you're good. But nobody took care. And they left it out. Okay, you fell down, you're fine now, you're good enough. Do you think you'll be valued there? Hi? Okay, again, is there any chat? No. No, exactly. So that is where our EHS role comes to a place. We need to ensure that even if a single hurt is there, we need to ensure that the person is taken the utmost care in a longer aspect, so that he feels that he's a part of it. And then moving forward, as the time is running, one of the main reasons why they have this EHS is the legal requirement. Not in all countries we are having this as a momentum, because see, even in our own India, I believe this EHS not gained a lot of momentum. Some MNCs are having this, not all the companies. So in future, it's going to be an essential part that every company, even a small scale or a bigger scale industry, has to have this. But if you see most of our big MNCs and a big brand in our India, they will have this. And last but not the least, oh my goodness, this comes a real game changer, always money. Yes, we talk about value, we talk about things, but ultimately this money speaks a lot, because that is where a business is runs. Even see, let's say for an example, our own education, it comes out with the money because it has a lot of value in it. In the same way, if EHS is not taken care properly, it will lose moral to the people, and it will collapse the system what is being in place. Like we all get agitated when we see something bad. This government is like that, these people are like that, but it just starts within us. And ultimately it revolves around one thing called as money. So money is one of the biggest factors why we need to have an EHS. Because see, for an example, I'm investing like for a salary of a person, let's say 20-40,000 to a person who is going to be working in a company, and I've been training him, and there is a training cost involved in that. And then what I would say is, like, if I'm investing 50,000 on a single person in a company they try to invest, I'm going to get a reap of like profit on him. I mean, let's say 2 lakhs. It's just an assumption. I'm not telling the right fact because it's very difficult to manage based on the business strategies. But in case if that person is met with an accident or something happened over it, not only an accident or not some because of him some environmental spillage happened, if let's say he's a driver, first he will be hospitalized. That might see, that is the cost we can easily talk about here. So as I was telling, three things: moral, legal, and money. So I'm going to talk about the cost involved, how it is bifurcated, and we're going to be seeing the iceberg concept over it. So everybody knows about Titanic, right? Or at least the, what I would say, iceberg concept. So iceberg concept is, they say like only 10% of that is on the top and the remaining 90% is below. So as I was talking, I've invested some 50,000 on a person now, and he's going to be doing a job, and he's going to be doing many things related to environmental, related, all is integrated. There is nothing called health and safety separate. It's a part of their job. It's a part of your job. Like even as a professor, even as a student, it's a part of your job. So if he feels something, he's just going to do a medical and some compensation cost. Okay, immediately we evaluate it. But if you see the underlying cost which is affecting him is huge. He's not going to be coming back to the company for 3 months. So investment was 50,000, but the profit he was giving is 2 lakhs. So that 6 lakhs is lost because they're unable to find a replacement for him. And unfortunately, because of that environmental spillage, because he was driving it, and that environmental spillage, they have to pay a lot of fines to the people. I mean, like to the government. And we can't even imagine. So that is where our role comes as an EHS personnel, to create a management system to manage that. I wouldn't say that we can completely abate it, but it will take some time to, by following that, and slowly we can bring that down. So that is where this cost analysis comes. As I was telling, it's very simple reasons: moral, the value; law, always anything you do, it's because of law. Because see, even we are doing this college, we always look for as affiliation. Are you guys approved by the government? No. If not, I'm not going to be joining you. As simple as that. And then coming to the money is an ultimatum. And as I was explaining, it's very clear that we need to take care of the human values in all aspects, and also environment where we are living in. And now I'm going to be just talking how to really set up a management system. Because now I was talking about many subjects. Yeah, we need to talk about EHS. EHS is very important. But if you don't think there is an effective management system, it's very tough, whatever you're thinking to do in your life. Okay, the best example. Where did you learn management system? Please, I want some really somebody to answer these questions, because I don't want to talk about the subject, because subject, I am a strong believer that the subjects are made out of a learning from our daily lives. So what is management system? When did you learn management system in your life? Or from whom did you start learning management system? Because we have heard of many great exciting degrees, but I would like to really put that in a different perception. Okay, I'm sorry, somebody is really coming. Oh, Uma, I'm really happy that you said mother. Exactly. Mother is the greatest example I would say mother, and I would say parents. Yeah, ultimately mother, because she's the one is acting as a core and delivering the different aspects what we read. Amma, that's a great emotion to say. My mother, when I first started managing my own things, exactly. Management system is just what we are studying is just the books, but what we learn in our life and the subject is all about from our day-to-day life. That's why I say parents and the professors and the teachers having a lot of influential things, and I'm really feeling that. I'm young, but still that is a reality. So management system from the mom, like getting up from the morning and telling us what is required. You need to talk to these people, this is how you need to do in your day-to-day life, how to report. Exactly, that is what the management system. And now that is the same thing we are reflecting in our day-to-day life in the companies by a different exciting and a different fancy names on different ways. So EHS management systems, how it is framed is, I'm going to be running you through certain terminologies, just again coming back to our own way of fancy names. Policy. Have you heard of policies again? LIC policy, everything is there, right? So what's that policy? What is that policy really talking to you people? Or tells to you people? Policy. Okay. Policy is basically like LIC is really guaranteeing you that, okay, if something really goes wrong to you people, or some accidental insurances, health insurances, if something happens to you, that's always a clause, if something happens, we're going to give this. So literally they're kind of giving a promise to you, stating that we will be doing something to you people when something goes wrong. And that is where again EHS has to create a policy saying that your health, safety, and environment is surroundings of the people, safety is of the individual, and health is again comes to as an individual. So the top management of the company, or also let's say a dean or vice chancellor, is creating a policy that we are going to be abiding to it, and they're giving a commitment on a paper and saying that this is our policy, you need to be taking care. And that promise is given and it is cascaded to down of the people, and that is a kind of a foundation tool saying that this is how we are going to be marching towards our EHS management system, to ensure that every person who's coming to the company or in a college or anybody going back safe home. Okay, that is the first step. Again, I'm sorry, it's a very lengthy subject. Maybe some other day I would be, but I'm going a little bit faster because I want to give as much as knowledge to you possible. And once we again create a policy, we cannot just execute that, right? Let's say for an example, in the college also, students coming in, what do you do on the very first day? I still remember Balaji Kannan sir delivering me the first orientation. But still, what does actually you as a teachers, you do on a very first day? So that you can really connect to the subject what I'm doing here. Very first day students come in. What do you do? Motivate them. Number one, thank you, Mr. Sivanandan. Introduction. After introduction, okay, introduction about our college, what we do, what we want, do's and don'ts, blah, 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 other things. After introducing, one of the most important thing on the very first day they start about. Oh, Atal is really active, huh? Others, sir, please. I'm a bit of pusher, okay. Sorry to do that, but it's really good that if you speak out. And moreover, nobody's going to see who's going to be talking. Knowledge, okay, great. Okay, I'll pick somebody again, huh? Basic knowledge. Mr. Amit, or okay, Ms. Vanita Subramaniam. That's the full name, huh? Maybe. Or else I should pick some doctors. Yeah, Dr. Ashwini. Can you speak out? No problem. Dr. Ashwini, you there? Coming next to that, Riddhi Srivastav.
We request the participants to interact with the speaker.
They'll be fine there. It's okay. Or else, okay, again, I'm gonna choose somebody. Dr. Sonia Raut. Maybe, I'm sorry if I'm spelling your names a bit because pronunciation differs. Dr. Sonia, you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please don't call me sir. It doesn't look good for me. Doctor. Okay, doctor, I believe you would have welcomed the students on the very first day. I mean, you're a professor or a doctor? I mean, like a medical doctor.
Professor, sir.
Okay, perfect, ma'am.
I'm a lecturer.
Amazing. So you would have definitely welcomed people on the very first day, right?
Yes, sir.
After welcoming them, what do you do on the very first day, ma'am?
Just we're trying to maintain a rapport with the students and
Amazing.
Try to familiar with them with our college or responsibilities which they want to take in a department as well as in our college.
Exactly. Thanks for the word you were talking about. Maybe I should have hidden this. You took a bit of an advantage over that word over there. Okay. So as you were saying, you were welcoming the people in front. It's amazing. The moment after welcoming, giving them an idea, we always choose one leader and we start delegating the responsibilities to, okay, you're the team leaders. What is that term called, ATAL? Class rep, right? What we use in a TNAU? Class rep, I believe. Cost, can you help me out there with that? Sorry?
Class representative.
Yeah, exactly. So class representative, we start and we say them, okay, you're the, Mr. Siva, you're the class representative. You're going to be dealing with all the communications with it. So we're delegating the responsibility. In the same way, once we create the policy in the company, we start delegating the responsibilities to each one of them. Because if you're not delegating the responsibilities, nobody's going to take care. Everybody's going to come and go back. So once we start organizing and delegating the responsibilities, then we start planning and implementing the things. So like now, the greatest example, I would say this, the FDP program, I believe our wonderful, our seniors, Wanaka is there, and I believe some juniors. What happens now, teachers are delegating that and they started planning to arrange such FDP programs to encourage all the teachers out there, and also persons like me giving an opportunity to come and deliver a speak. So once we start doing that, we start arranging. So let's say for an example, now they would have said, Divya, you have to do this. So she started planning her mind that I'm going to be making certain arrangements. So once that arrangements are made, again, the leader is going to be taking care and reviewing it. And that is where this comes the topic called as evaluation. So once the vice chancellor and the professor are making a policy, once they make the policy, and Dr. Sonia was helping out that she's going to be delegating the responsibility, creating a rapport. And once that rapport is there, they're going to be implementing a lot of planning. So we're going to be doing a seminar, we're going to be doing an interactive sessions like this. And then what we need to do, once we start planning and implementing, it's always an opportunity for us to evaluate what we have done. And that is where EHS management, because as I told, nothing in this world is 100%. And it's because that is where we use a term called as low as reasonably practicable. I'm sorry that terminology is not there, but I'm trying to say nothing is 100%. And once we start evaluating, we need to do some actions, because once we saw there is a gap. Let's say for an example, the person who was driving was under the influence of alcohol in the company, and it led to an incident. And because of that, what he did, he went and directly hit a tank. And that tank was considered having a huge amount of crude oil, and the crude oil went completely on the seabed. Two things. One was behavioral, safety was not there. Second, because of that crude oil getting hit on the seabed, it directly went into the sea, environmental problems. So what you could have done there, because you planned it, implemented it, and ultimately something happened. So what are you going to do in action? What you would do? Mani Megalai. Hi, Mani Megalai. Okay, if not, Dr. Ankita.
So we have an answer in the chat box.
I'm sorry, Yost, because it's not popping on my action against him. What action you would take? Maybe. Yes, that's where again, moral. It depends. This is where we need to pay a bit of, I would say, managerial role. That's why I say sometimes books are different. It all comes in your attitude and your behavioral thinking. Yes, maybe an initial warning, but if it's really, really more than that, only thing is they would say we need to give them complete termination will be only option. But I'm not a fan of termination, but we are tied and bound to give only that as in, because it has got a lot of after effects over it, because we are living in a world where we have been tied up with a lot of management system and stringent rules. Yes, that is the only way we can really, really talk about that. We can give warning. Yeah, that's the best way. As I told you, it depends on your leadership qualities. It's completely on leadership qualities, what you're going to be doing. And ultimately, once we start doing this management system, we created a policy, we started delegating the responsibilities to people, started planning and implementing all the things. And we started evaluating and started doing in actions to improve that on a daily basis. And again, to ensure that everything is in place, there we do a thing called as audit. I believe colleges undergo this NABL certification laboratory audits, or sometimes financial audits. Many audits are there. I don't know. Are you aware of audits? Anybody? Or I think most of you will be aware of this audits. It's not something new because it's just on a different subject, audit. Health and safety, audit. Financial, audit. It's just like that. So this is how an management system is formed in EHS. And that is where my role also in my company I'm playing, but we need to be working as a team because it cannot be done by a single person. Like always say, this Corona, I would take again an example of Corona. The biggest concept of EHS played a role. Initially, when the government said everybody has to put mask, how many of us put on mask? Let's be true. Maybe if you can turn on the camera and also say, yes, I was. I mean, I saw that in our group also, there was one person with a mask. But what happened, not everybody in our country, and not, why should I say our country? It was worldwide. Nobody gave it even a care about it because it was something new and nobody experienced it. And they were like, okay, they're just playing. So the entire country was talking about health and safety is important, but the behavior of the people was highly challenging. And we led out to a complete wide across spread of coronavirus. Now it is completely getting mitigated because of the stringent rules from the government. Now it's very, very strict. So this is what we as a personal doing in a company, the government is doing it on a bigger scale, on a different names in the government system. So as I was talking about this, leadership, because leadership plays a small role. I would like to play a small video so that we can understand one thing. Let me play a video about leadership and a boss. Why leadership plays a big
Are you guys stupid? I'm the boss.
Okay, Horst, can you just tell me can you hear the sound?
Yes, sir. We can hear the sound, sir.
Perfect.
And you all must do what I say.
You're right, sir. You are the boss.
What, newbie?
I said you're right, sir. You are the boss.
Mm-hmm.
You say it without hesitation.
That's right.
That's why today I'd like to give you something.
What is it, newbie?
My letter of resignation.
Oh, really, newbie? You don't want to work here? Big mistake.
Well, as a new employee, your leadership skills make me concerned. And if you don't mind, before I leave, I'd like to give you some parting words.
What can you teach me? I can't wait to hear this. Go ahead, new guy.
Well, sir, I don't think you're all bad. But somewhere down your path, you got lost. I think you used to be a leader, but now you're just a boss.
What's the difference?
Well, see, a boss says I. A leader says we. Bosses are blinded by pride, while leaders can really see. A leader always asks. Bosses, they command. See, a boss points fingers, but a leader extends a hand. A boss says go. Leaders say let's go. Leaders consider ideas. Bosses say heck no. See, a boss push you down. Leaders will lift you up because leaders give love. A boss don't give a
what?
Bosses use people, abuse people. Leaders groom people. They look for what's good inside and improve people. Leaders have mastered the art of inspiration. Bosses have mastered the art of manipulation. A boss yells and screams like they're on a TV show. A leader treats the janitor like the CEO. They are compassionate and know the community comes first. Bosses think culture's something only found in yogurt. Sir, ask yourself this question. I'm not trying to be your teacher, but have you ever heard of a world boss?
I haven't.
Or is it world leader, religious leader, community leader, business leader? Don't you see it? A leader is who you should be. A boss is just meager. Sir, entrepreneurs have a big responsibility. I believe we are the only ones who can save our world, literally. Not politicians, not government. We won't do it religiously. We do it through serving our clients' best needs individually.
Our clients.
But maybe you think good service won't take you far. Maybe you think if you started to serve, our stock will fall.
Our stock?
Well, the great Henry Ford would be appalled, because he said a business devoted to service will have one worry about profits.
Yeah, what's that?
They will be embarrassingly large. Sir, this is a higher call. Does that make sense? We are here to work for a dream, not just a paycheck. We are here to be fantastic and sensational, not just transactional, but transformational. Profit comes when we are committed to the vision, and we will have the biggest ROI, return on intention. Sir, I sincerely hope you change your ways and overcome your obstacles. You teach a lot about leadership here. Mostly, what not to do.
Wait. How do you know so much about business? And you said our stock? Who is this guy?
Well, the truth is, I lied. I'm not your employee, sir.
Who are you?
You're mine. I'm the founder of this company, and you need to learn a thing or two about our core meaning. Tomorrow morning, first thing, I'd like to see you at our board meeting.
Hope that leader video would have just created a small impact. I'm not going to talk much about that because it was so evident how a leaders can really transfer. Because management system, things are in place, many things are in place. But if there is no leader or somebody who's, like as we were talking about leaders, about a mom and dad, my mom and dad has a lot of influence in my life. I've learned, I'm speaking in front of you just because of my dad and mom. Because I've seen them speaking to a lot of people, I've speaking them the value to the people, and that is what I'm carrying as a momentum in my life out here. So moving just to with the concepts, I'm really sorry because we are running out of time. So we talked about many things. As I told, management systems comes and leaders are the major role, because if that behavioral, see, let's say for an example, when we talk about a leader, sir, he's struggling this, but he's not doing that. Why will I follow? This comes a question. So even if you want to implement a policy, even if you want to do an organizing, it's very, very difficult because every time everybody is watching us, even as a teacher, because as I told, teachers are highly influential because in our high teenagers and high areas, we are always emerged into you. And I'm highly, really thankful to all the teachers who are here. Because of that only, I'm speaking right confidently here. Without that, okay, I'm nothing in front of you. And just to talk about a little bit of, again, a safety. Anybody is from Bhopal in this session? MP? If that's you, please come forward and just say me a good yes, a big loud of yes.
Any of the participants from Bhopal?
Anybody? If you are. Okay, if not from Bhopal, anybody has heard of this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one of the most industrial disaster. The numbers are alarming. It's still, there is no fixed one. Okay, I can see that many people already replied. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Safety, again, it plays a big role here. When we are constructing, if there is no proper management system, like you are training us in a different aspect, it will collapse. And I can say my dad is one of the persons who are working in the same industries, in the oil and gas industries, who's facing a lot of challenges in this, because process safety is something so much. That's where chemical engineers play a lot of role. And that's where my role as an EHS personnel to ensure that process safety is in line according to their competency. So in that nightmare of December 2nd between and December 3rd, there was a complete release of MIC gas, methyl isocyanate, which released into the air in the mid, and it was heavier than air. It got settled and it killed thousands of people. I'm not going to be saying a little bit of things. It's very simple that I'm going to say 2-3 reasons which can be connecting us as an environmentalist, because we talk about venturi scrubbers and flare gas units. The scrubbers are basically to burn certain obnoxious gas which is coming out of a process and reducing the pollution. So what happened in this Bhopal is they were storing this MIC beyond their capacity. Water entered into it and it created some reaction. And when the reaction happens, the temperature increases. And you know that when temperature increases, expands. Now I remember a bit of thermodynamics. I thank all my professors who thought about me about thermodynamics. So that expands and it got released. But before releasing into the atmosphere, most of the process companies, what they have, a lot of safety system to burn it out and reduce its intensity. On that day, all the safety systems failed. Safety systems means like basically the environmentalist, like what we venturi scrubbers. The purpose of venturi is to reduce the emissions, and also we integratingly calling it a safety system. That failed. Again, the flare gas was not working properly. It released into the air and thousands of people died. It's still a big nightmare. So that is where we need to use a tool in the companies, what we use called risk assessment. But before going to the risk assessment, we need to just know a small things about this incidents, because this incidents only lead to a big disaster like that. From the pictorial, you can very easily see that. As I told, it is influence of the management system, and also mostly it is the influence of the person who is present there. See here, there is a forklift. I think, okay, not for forklift, anything we can see something is on the top. And if he's driving like this, it's going to topple. Maybe we would have seen a lot of funny videos on that. So this is an unsafe condition. But if you see other area, there is something, and we individually, hey, it's not going to fall down, man. We'll go stand behind that. Sometimes when we're standing, we're lucky. It just falls nearby. We just trying to be calling it as a near miss. But sometimes these things called fall on you and lead up to an accident. And that is what happened when management systems, again, it's very, very challenging. As a professional, we can just say, why didn't they do it? But the practical difficulties, you need to understand, like there is a lot. And that is where it led to a disaster. And as one of the things which completely a big accident. So tool, one of the small tool, what they use is risk assessment. So I would like to just talk about this with a pictorial. From here, you can see that risk. What do you think a risk is? Anybody? Oh my God, that's great. CIA Bhopal. So Mr. Vaibhav sir, you might be knowing more than me. Anyways, since we moved upon, one of the tools, I'm not saying this is the only tool, one of the tools. There are many tools to mitigate those problems. But one of the basic thing what they do is risk assessment. And we do this on a daily basis. So from this picture, you can see this guy wanted to be successful. So he's one cliff. So the hazard here for him is the biggest valley in between. Okay, moving out of your comfort zone to do something, that's a good risk. Thank you, Rajani. And Tanuja, amazing. Both the bola apne. Risk is experimenting. Yeah, it could be an experimenting. That is the root. And you can see that from this picture here. He's trying to experiment himself, putting himself in a danger that if he's trying to jump from this cliff to another cliff, if he's unable to reach that cliff, even if he's hanging around there, exposure to danger, yeah, you can use n number of words. That's the best way. Thank you, Sushma. And if he's unable to reach there, he's going to be ending up into this pointing nails, might be dying, or he might be having a damage. So that is why each and every process in the companies, even in the college, we need to do that. Let me give a small example. How many of your teachers are having a vocal cord problems and a backache problems? Backache. Anybody here? Vocal cord, that's the most important thing, because I really felt how the teachers of being really affected when I was started. Yeah, backache, you'll be getting it because you're standing for continuous hours. Okay, after backing ache also, what we do is we go and sit on a chair. Can you just imagine, does your chair as a roller type with a 5-wheel kind of base on it? If you're having, are you having? Does your chairs in your at our offices, does it as roller chairs? And does it has 5 different wheels on that? Exactly. So this is one of the concepts we talk about ergonomics in health and safety, where the design of your workplace, because that's why I'm saying workplace is not only limited to companies. Normal S type. So S type will have, you will not be able to bend like this, you'll not be able to move like that. That's going to cause you a problem. This is where the risk assessment comes to a play. And once we do this, and we need to tell to the management, so these are the problems the guys will be facing, we need to really, really work on invest money, and so that they'll not be facing such medical issues as you were talking, Mr. Sivanandam. So from this picture, it's like clear that he's taking a risk. So hazard is something which is having the potential, and the risk in the terminology, in the normal terms, you said whatever you said was absolutely right. But in the technically, they will be saying like our EHS professional, we say like it's kind of a chances. There was one person, right? I think it was not you all or somebody saying the experimenting. Yes, the chances, and the severity determines on what happened. Could be something positive or it could be negative. So that is where the risk assessment comes into a play. And this is one of the tool where we do for a EHS. As I'm telling, it's not only for the company, even it is applicable to the colleges. As I was just giving a small example of a chair within a professors. Professors, come on. Maybe sir, if Sir Sridharan sir is here, are you there, sir, by any chance? Maybe I can give a request that you need to give an S type, a roller type chairs to all of our professors talking to a vice chancellor. Is he there by any chance?
No, sir, he's not here.
Okay, maybe I'll talk to him later. It's okay, thank you. And one again comes into a bigger place when we do a risk assessment. Again, it depends on the perception of the people. See, when we got an answers, every individual is having a different way of saying things. That is where the thing called as perception comes. And just small activity just before concluding our presentation, as we are almost nearing 9. Okay, from this diagram, you can see there are 2 oranges, right? So which one of the oranges is bigger to you? A quick answer, left or right? Oh, same. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Just two to three people. I'm sorry, I'm making a bit staying all of you. Okay, since 2 of them have answered, Mr. Vaibhav, can you just say what did you say it the same? Sir Vaibhav or ATAL TNAU? You got you made an answer. Can you explain me why you said it same? I'm asking. Okay, maybe my voice was delayed. There are 2
I
oranges.
observed it. I think both are same.
Yeah, you think both are same. Amazing. But why do you think it's same? Can you give some logic behind it? No problem. If you aren't.
No,
if you aren't
actually,
Yes,
from my perception, I saw it as
exactly.
like
There is
problems,
nothing to be
problems around us.
amazing. Thanks for really coming forward and explaining the way you had a perception. Yes. So I'm just going to be explaining. See here, a normal perception. Like we have a eye test, they check this perception test. So this one is surrounded by bigger circles. So it's looking small. But wherein this, it's surrounded by bigger circles, so smaller circles and looking big. So for some people, it looks right one is bigger. But again, as Mr. Vaibhav sir was mentioning, it looks same. And again, there is no right or wrong answer in this. It depends on different perception. And one more activity, since I'm fast forwarding it. How many squares are there here? How many squares? Come on, we're going to be finishing it off. How many squares in this picture? You can put your answers in the chat box. $22. Thank you, Sakti. Anybody else? Thanks for that. 22, 38. Amazing, Shilpa. 22. ATAL TNAU. Great. 22, 38. Keep going. 26, 21, 24. 21. Thank you, Mr. Sivanandam. Aisha, thank you. 26, Aisha. I'm going to be waiting for four more people. 21, Kumar. Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Thank you, Dr. Ashwini. Thank you, Komal Bharati. 27. Closer. 26. Thank you, Nitya. Okay, great. Shakti Churya Raj come out with another answer of 30. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Thank you once again, everybody. Okay, Shakti Shurya. Ma'am or sir, can you explain to the people why you got the answer as 30? Yes, most of you tried your best. I'm going to be giving you the answer. Thank you, Tanuja. Thank you, Atal. Again, Sangeeta, 29. Okay, you're getting it. See, the moment it started coming on a different answer or perception chain, the answer for this squares is 30. Shakti Shurya, can you just tell the people, you can request for the control and I'll give you, a host can give you a control, or not to take much time, I'll explain you. Okay, so there are 16 squares, right? Agreeing everybody? Atal, at least you can, if you can speak yes or no, so that I'll be feeling like, okay, somebody is there.
Yes, sir.
16, right? And then if you see, this 4 is 1 square. So 4, like it's like 2 tables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 16 plus 9 gives me, I'm very bad at maths, 25, right? Okay, now we went for 2 tables. Now we're going to be going for 3 squares. That is 9 cubes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 25 plus 4 gives me 29. So that's what Sangeeta got. Sangeeta, where was the other one you missed out? Do you think? The last one over the thing. So there are 30 squares. And again, as I told, it's a perception. It's nothing right or wrong in this. It's a complete perception. So that is where the risk assessment plays a role. It depends on the personnel. We need to just ensure that the persons are having. And after identifying, we need to give control. Like I was giving, the first always possible way is try to eliminate it. If you want, okay, this chair is not good, eliminate it. Then substitution, what I can go, maybe I can go for little flexible chair, because in that case, engineer already I tried to eliminate, it was not possible. It was possible, so I eliminated it. And then I substituted that chair with a rolling chair. And then most of the times in the company challenge, what we do, we cannot do the first thing. So we go for engineering controls. Like say for an example, in our own company workshops, there are different lathe machines. We don't let the chain racket spinning and opening. So we always cover that. That's an engineering control. Even after doing all these things, people tend to still make a mistake. Then we come to administrator. That is where our leaders come into a play. We're giving them a training, giving them a work instruction, like all the teachers were enlightening us on the subjects. But for the work people in the workshop, again, next time when you guys are going, TNAU you guys to a workshop, check whether they're having a proper mask, not the normal mask what they have, because when we are performing welding, they will only have the goggles, but you will never see any of us in our, if I'm not wrong, maybe I'm wrong now, something would have changed. The mask, the right mask, not the normal mask, what we are using. There are special masks for that, because if he's getting exposed to that gases which is coming out, because we are talking about different SOx and NOx, same thing which is coming out of that in a different aspect. When it goes into your body, it's going to be having a longer term effect. That's what I told. I have to be thinking like a doctor as an EHS professional and ensure that person is not going to doctor, because sometimes it'll be a cancer or it could be a lung affection. And moving to the last concept, sorry, risk assessment we did. We tried to give a control. I'm sorry, a bit of fast. And last but not the least, again, as I told you, we implemented it, we checked it, evaluated it. And again, this is one of the requirements in most of the companies. We have established a management system, and there is a management system to ensure that yes, these guys have been following a wonderful management system, and they're having a set out example. I think you would have heard of ISO 9001, 14001, right? Okay, 9001 is quality, let's forget about it. 45,000 is for health and safety. But since I believe the participants more or less with respect to environmental, and we always talk about this ISO 14001. Again, I'm saying, if you're having a background knowledge of 14 environmental, implementing ISO management system would be easier because you know the background subject already. Only thing is you need to ensure that it is in place with the organization. Okay, so that is where audit comes. Once the audit is done, we always review and keep doing the same thing. And all this management system or whatever we were seeing in all these slides, it revolves around one concept called as PDCA. Have you heard of PDCA? No matter what we were discussing many things. I know it's a lot of information I gave, but still, it's just a cycle called as PDCA: plan, do, check, and act. So again, our professors took a great planning and organizing this FDP program. They planned it and they're doing it. I'm one of the speaker to do that. And once it is done, they're going to be checking. I think they're going to be having a feedback session tomorrow, or I don't know. One, they'll check where the gap, because as I told, nothing is 100% as a management system. Again, we are doing, but there are some international requirements to do all this thing. Once we start checking, we will be knowing what are the gaps we had. The check is done. We're going to act it in a positive way and revolve around that, because if you're not, this is just a part of a life, the same thing. And once it is done, it's going to be having a continuous improvement to ensure that everything what we are doing will be a complete success, ensuring that as you as an individual, a wonderful person, and also as a company, and also as a college, we are going on a higher scale. So just to refresh, we just talked about what is EHS, and then why EHS is required, and then what are the different kind of incidents what we had, and then just a small glimpse of Bhopal I was telling. Maybe you can go and watch the movie. It's an amazing movie, that how it really matters, because it's integrated, as I told. It was affecting health, it was affecting the safety, it was affecting the environmental. All three components were there. And at last, when we're coming for the audit, we'll know that where we are. Like our teachers, you are evaluating us. Like you planned by giving your lectures, amazing. And then you started doing it to us, and we were giving an examination, and you started checking. Once you start checking, you gave us then feedback. Hey, come on, Prince, you got to do this. So I started acting over it, and then I started to plan how I can come out of it, because the failure made me a success, because I too had some arrears. I wouldn't say that I was a complete clean boy. I too, but that really helped me a lot. So this is the only concept. Plan, do, check, act is not something new. You have been doing it, only the terminologies we have not been heard of. So just a small message I would like to give as a end of the conversation here is, it's very simple, sir, and ma'ams out here. The pictures concludes everything. No matter whatever we do, even as an EHS professional, okay, I'm an EHS professional, but even as a professor, even as a student, I've really understood the small meaning of life. It's very simple. If you're not happy, nobody's going to be happy around you. It just comes into your thinking. And again, I might be easy to say, yeah, it's just on your thinking, man. But during that phase of smile, there are a lot of intersocial activities happening around us, because we are not independent, we are interdependent. You can easily search that. Interdependent. I am dependent on my parents, I am dependent on my colleagues, I am dependent on my professor, I am dependent on my junior, like friends like you. If you're not there, I'm nothing. I wouldn't be having an opportunity to come here and talk about this subject. Though it was actually EHS is a mix of everything. As I told, it's a technical thing, it's psychosocial, it's a leadership. You should be a multi-skilled person. And then coming to this, again, the same thing as I was talking. If you're smiling, then only your family smiles. Again, sir, professors, you might be having a lot of problems. Sometimes what you do is eventually you go and show that anger to the family. They might be there, you're a teacher only, now you're not going somewhere, but each and every profession has their own challenges. And there comes an important role for you to play in that, because it's something unimaginable. So if you smile, your family smiles. And if you don't smile, your family cannot smile. The money I was talking about, ultimatum, yes, it required to be there for every part of your life, but that money alone can't bring you happiness. Your family, your friends is going to bring a lot of happiness. And just saying that, take EHS as a part of your daily life, and it is a part of your daily life. Whatever we do is EHS is already there. Only thing that we don't realize. So today, not today, every day is a day. Just go out and be yourself and be happy always. And once again, I thank you, our wonderful faculty team, who gave me an opportunity to come over and deliver this session. And thanks, host, and all my seniors and juniors down there to give me this opportunity. And once again, thank you, everybody. I'm leaving this forum for now Q&A answers. I'll try to answer as much as possible because I'm also a learner. Every day is a learning area for me. Thank you once again, everybody.
Thank you, sir. That was really an interactive session. Now the session is open for questions. So the participants can unmute themselves and interact with the speaker.
Maybe.
Sir,
Yes, sir. With all your due respect.
Can you throw some light on certifications regarding EHS, sir?
Okay,
Like
see.
NEBOSH?
Yeah, NEBOSH is a basic certificate, actually. As the students, to know about what has health and safety, NEBOSH will give you an idea. But I would say always to go for a master's degree, because all the people who are entering into the industry, NEBOSH is being considered. That too not in India as of now. Only in like UK based or UAE countries they're giving preference. I'll be frank, because in India we have much more stringent standards. CLI, RLI, there are regional labor institute programs are there to do diploma in industrial health and safety. So those areas we can really learn about that certificates, but NEBOSH will really help you, because most of the MNCs nowadays, since it is becoming privatization, they're trying to give a lot of preference to the NEBOSH people who's having an engineering background. Again, just a NEBOSH is not going to help you. An engineer is going to be a pre-qualification for most of them, or not, at least a good degree. And then this NEBOSH will help them to land into a health and safety profession. And after that, they can be improving. Actually, NEBOSH gives an overall comprehensive. But after that, there are specialized like subject matters. Already you have delivered a lot of sessions. As an EHS professional, that will give you an idea. But other sessions, what we had in our FDP programs, will have to be attended like this so as to increase our knowledge. One of the common certificate everybody knows is NEBOSH. As simple as that. Answer could be for that. In India, RLI, Regional Labor Institute certificates, but it requires a lot of prerequisites. I never had a chance to do that. But I would prefer to go for a master's. And this job profile is going to get a lot of boom because of the COVID. Because of COVID. Every company, if you see, your health and safety is important to you. Your health and safety is important to you. That is an advertisement they're giving out. So you will be having a big role, and it's a challenging role. A knife, like cat on the wall or something, you could say anything. Challenging. You need to be a strong guy, person. Yeah.
What do you think as a strength of yourself?
Myself? That's a good question. Being myself is my strength. Because I've been just watching. I always wanted to be myself, and I'm good with people. That is one of my biggest strength.
Very good reply, sir.
Thanks for that, sir. But okay, maybe.
So it was really an excellent session. It was very lively, and it was really we don't know when the time flew. So it was really a very interactive session, and it was really good for a morning time. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being a part of this faculty development program. Thank you so much.
Again, it gives me a pleasure. Once again, I would like to thank all the professors, and you guys really matters a lot, because without a backbone, nothing can be happening. So keep going and just coming out with flying colors. Thank you all the professors and all the dignitaries in this forum. I was able to see some of you people. Have a nice day ahead. And it's high time for you to take a break, because I was talking about health and safety. Now you need to shut off your camera, get out, stretch yourself, and come back. Because every 40 minutes you have to stretch your body. If you're not stretching, it's going to cause a lot of stress on your head. Shut off the camera, get out, just walk around, grab a coffee, and come back to your session. Have a nice day, everybody.